Good morning, my Tuesday King family. All right, so good morning. Let's take a look at our gold and silver. And silver's back to 69.41. Gold, oh, it's the 10 o'clock drop. I'm so surprised. 45.74. I mean, it was 47.40. So what we have is China raising it. And then the U.S., Europe knocking it down a little. This 10 o'clock drop, it should shoot right back into the 47s, or at least mid 46s. Nothing to worry about. It does seem like we want to worry about it. ncaa, how are you today? Any March Madness picks? Well, let's take a look at it. I will certainly take a look at it in just a second. God knows we don't really want to talk about gold and silver when it's dropping, only when it's going up. Bitcoin 70,000. I'm just taking a look at that and the stock market. So we can review the March Madness. And the Dow is, I got to keep refreshing the page. The Dow is down to 45,000. So it was 50 and 47, 46, now 45. Should be down a lot more. How the hell oil prices will go up? The dollar is inflated to zero. It has nothing to do with prices, everybody. It's money printing. So you have heavy inflations, costs are up. You can't sell it. Sales will be down. Why would the market be up? Oh, AI. AI is the biggest scam I've ever seen. So in other words, if you did AI on me, it would just repeat what I say. Well, that's not anything ingenuity-wise. Oh, AI can learn on its own. Yeah, bullshit. It can't. That's just a fantasy. Getting pretty good on the NBA. I looked at the tournament lines and stuff, and you kind of got to know the team and the overs and unders. North Carolina lost, but they probably weren't very good anyway, just in the name. All right, so let's answer D-Mark question. I think I know you, but I'm not under this name. So let's look at, we'll look at today's games. We won't look at yesterday's. And it's hard. Kentucky 2.5 over Santa Clara, 156. What do we know about these teams? So it's hard to pick it. You can't just think Kentucky's going to look at North Carolina lost. Duke should have lost. So you can't really just say, oh, Kentucky's Kentucky. How well is the coach and their players? And I don't really know that. So 2.5, 156.5. If you know, you should be able to bet it. Akron, Texas Tech. If this was a football game, all over Texas Tech because Akron's a Z team. Over here, they're a 12 seed. Texas Tech 7.5, 154.5. Have no idea. I don't know the teams to give picks really, but we can review it. Arizona against LIU Brooklyn. Is that a high school? LIU? It's funny. Excuse me. I mean, what are you going to do? Arizona's laying 30 points. I mean, it's a crapshoot. Hell do I got here? I got one big Kleenex. All right. Hard to call it when you don't know the name. The way the problem solve is you must understand the teams and you must rank the teams A or Z over or under, and I can't do that. I don't know the teams. I'm not really following it, but we'll talk about it. Virginia, 17 and a half. Yeah, it's always, I'm upset in the tournament. I got this strange error. More than one ingestion is using the primary URL. Send one stream to the primary. I don't know what that means. I assume you can still see me. So I don't know what this error is. I only have one YouTube on. I don't know. Can you still see me and hear me? It sounds like you can. Let me check. I have no idea what this error is. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Sounds good to me. Okay. I was just starting to watch Mark McGuire. Hi, John. C. Can just let me know if you can. I'm getting this error message. More than one ingestion is using the primary URL. Send one stream to the primary ingestion and one stream to the backup. I must be a YouTube thing, but seems like I'm okay. All right. So yeah, if you don't, the key to betting is to understand the team. As you're trying to problem solve. I don't know. To me, Virginia and Wright State, all I know is it says a 3 and a 14, which doesn't mean anything to me. I don't know how good Virginia is, and I don't know how good Wright State is, except for they're in the tournament. So Virginia 17 and a half, 145. I think we can probably do better tomorrow or over the weekend because now I have results of the teams and I can see how they play yesterday and today, and then I can go, okay, now I think I know, like Duke. Well, Duke kind of looks like they suck. We'll see what Arizona does. Michigan, they blew out somebody. So I think we'll get a better grading this weekend. Tennessee Tech or Tennessee State or who's this Tennessee? TN. So it must be Tennessee State against Iowa State. So I hear Iowa State's pretty good. Second. They're laying 24 and a half, 147 and a half against Tennessee State. That might be a pick. Iowa State minus 24 and a half. From what I heard on the radio, Houston has another killer defense. So we're going to be betting Houston under. I think Iowa State has a good defense. Total on the game's 147 and a half. Maybe you play this game under, only because I heard something about Iowa State. Do I know they're a strong defensive team and they're a very good team? People are thinking they can beat Michigan. Don't know. We'll see. Hofstra against Bama. 11 and a half, 157 and a half. Again, are they strong scoring team? Or are they, what are they? I don't know. Utah State, Villanova at the 8-9 matchup. Utah State 1.5, 146 and a half. I'm inclined to take the dog in these 8-9 matchups because they're pretty even. Miami of Ohio and Tennessee. Tennessee 11 and a half, 148 and a half. No idea. I mean, in football, yeah, but not here. But I know the teams are. Iowa, Clemson. Look at Wisconsin lost yesterday, right? They were the 5 seed. I would never have picked that, but we'll see. Iowa 1.5, 130 to Clemson. Is Iowa like football, big defensive team? I don't know. Probably an under. I would think an under with Iowa, but again, I don't know what they are this year. Northern Iowa against St. John's. St. John's 9.5, 133 and a half. what am I going to say there? Uh, they're just names on a grave. UCF, UCLA 5.5, 151 to UCF. Maybe this isn't over. It's a high number. Maybe over 151. That's an 80 to 75 game. I think you get that. I think this one I like over. This is, and I only because Kareem and Bill Walton played at UCLA. Queens University against Purdue. Really, Purdue 25.5. I'm going to take Purdue here. They beat Michigan. They're playing well. 25.5. I think that's doable against Queens University. How good can Queens University be? All right, so we'll go with Purdue there. There's a play. Florida, then a 1C, but I heard they're not very good. Against Prairie View, Florida's 35.5 point favorites. I think they'll struggle. I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't take Florida here. I don't know. 35.5 is a lot of points. California CBU. I don't know what that is against Kansas. Kansas 13.5, 139.5. You'd think Kansas would beat them. I don't know how good Kansas is. Obviously, Iowa State is better than them. I don't know who won the Big 12. Tough call. Furman in Connecticut. Connecticut's apparently not that good. Lane 20, 136 to Furman. I think I like Connecticut here. And Missouri against Miami. Great college football game. Miami 2.5, 146.5. Over Missouri. I don't know. Missouri's probably a live dog in that game. So that's today's games. Seems like there was more yesterday. So basically what you have is you've got to know the teams. It's like anything else that I do. Baseball, for sure, football. You have to understand the team. Are they A or Z? And are they over or under? And it doesn't matter the name. If it's Kentucky, Kansas, Notre Dame, or Pittsburgh, UCLA, or Michigan, what are they? So Michigan seems like an A team. The 1Cs are like A teams. The 15, 16 teams maybe are Z teams, maybe not. They got in, but they're in weak conferences. So again, we know how it is in college football, stepping up in class, they don't do well. So App State might be good in the Sun Belt, but go play Alabama, they're going to lose 52-0, and that's what you don't know here. So we'll get a better read. So let's look at yesterday. See TCU 66 over Ohio State 64. Nebraska looks pretty good, 76-47 over Troy, who we hate in football. Louisville, South Florida, Louisville 83-79. The line was 3.5. They covered. High Point beats Wisconsin. Now that's one. If we know who High Point is and we know who Wisconsin is, we might have picked it. Wisconsin's was laying 10.5. That's not a big number for a 5 against the 12. Now, do we bet High Point this week? I don't know. We'll have to see. Here's Duke against Siena. They were down double digits the whole first half. They win 71-65, and they're laying 28. Makes no sense, except for Duke. Is there an injury? They're overvalued. Siena, obviously, is a good 16 team. They had Duke. They should have beat them. So can we trust Duke now? You can barely beat Siena. Vanderbilt against McNeese State. Vandy wins 78-68. I don't know if Dagiopava was playing or not. They were down double digits to beat McNeese State. So Vanderbilt's in big trouble. Again, sometimes it's the first game of the tournament. Vanderbilt's not usually in the tournament, so they get a little bit nervous. And then like Duke will settle down and then they'll win by 20 the next game because They got through. They didn't lose. And they'll say, okay, now let's play. Let's focus. They take their opponents lightly. Arkansas, 97, Hawaii, 78. Arkansas was laying 14, and they win by 19. So they cover a 4 against the 13. So we'll keep an eye on Arkansas. Michigan State, 92, North Dakota State, 67. I think that was a favorable matchup for Michigan State. They were a 3 seed, and they were playing a 14 seed. 92-67. Michigan State, keep your eyes on. Virginia Commonwealth beats North Carolina, 82-78. But look at the line. North Carolina was only laying 2.5 in this game. So is it an upset? No. You're laying 2.5. The 20-point, the other one, the Wisconsin was 10.5. This is 2.5. This isn't an upset at all. Virginia Commonwealth probably should have been favored. So we'll keep an eye on Virginia Commonwealth. I think they're probably a live dog in this tournament. And it was 82-78. So there was 160. The total was 150. Now, granted, this was overtime. Michigan 101, Howard 80. Michigan was laying 30, and they didn't cover. They won by 21. Howard actually looked pretty good. Michigan, again, they get the lead. They brought in all their scrubs in the final 5 minutes. And that's what you got to worry about when you're laying 30, 35 points. Oh, we know we got the game won. Let Johnny go out there. He doesn't play normally. He sucks, but, let's let him get out on the court. So, again, Michigan by 21. The total 180, so maybe Michigan's an over team or, Howard's out of it. Texas beats BYU 79-71. They were 11 seed against the 6 seed. BYU was only a 2.5-point favorite, so not really an upset at all. I'll get to your comments in 1 second. Texas A&M beat St. Mary's. Kind of hard to believe A&M was the 10th seed and St. Mary's was the 7th seed. St. Mary's was laying 3.5. A lot of that is because they were the higher seed, not that they were a better team. Total of 149. This game was a 113. A&M, like in football, playing a good defense. Illinois beats Pennsylvania 105-70. 175. The total was 149. So Illinois looks like they can score a lot. They'll be a live dog. Laying 25. They win by 35. I think Illinois is a live play here. St. Louis beats Georgia 102-77. But it really wasn't an upset. Georgia was just a 1.5-point favorite, so not an upset at all. St. Louis, 102 points. It's not my Georgia football defense they were playing, and they scored 77. The total on the game was 170, and they played a 179. So they still go over. So St. Louis might be an over team. This is how we, by next weekend, we'll have this figured out. Playing at Houston, 78, Idaho, 47. Total was 138. What a joke. Houston, we're betting under every game. They were laying 24. Let's see, 57, 67, 70. They win by 31, laying 24. They just basically shut Idaho down. That's where defense wins. So we'll be on Houston under every game. Gonzaga, 73, Kennesaw State, 64. That would be a good football game. Kennesaw State. Gonzaga was laying 20, and they win by 9. They don't cover. Total of 152. We got 137. So Gonzaga is maybe not the over team. So you're looking for the teams that score 100, and we're going to bet those over, especially against a decent team. So if we look at that, St. Louis, 102 on Georgia. We're betting them over. Illinois, 105 on Pennsylvania. We're going to bet them over. Texas A&M's an under. Texas BYU. Michigan, 101-80. That's an over team. Virginia Commonwealth, 82 on North Carolina. That's probably an over team because that's against North Carolina, although Michael Jordan didn't play. Michigan State, 92. So Michigan State looks like an over team. Arkansas, 97-78. That's an over team. Vanderbilt, 78. Probably not an over team. I mean, they could 78 on McNeese State. Duke, 71. I don't know what they are. Probably an under team. They only scored 71 on Siena. High Point beats Wisconsin. Now, the High Point's an over team. You put up 83 on Wisconsin, who usually plays very good defense in basketball and in football. That you scored 83 there. Who the hell are you going to play? You're going to put up 100. Louisville 83, South Florida. That's a good under team. Louisville, big Nebraska. They're an A team, I know. Good defense. And Ohio State, TCU. TCU, I don't know. They didn't show any offense, 66 points. So now that's how we begin our problem solving. So now we see them in a tournament. Okay, today will be a touch and field day, and then we'll go. All right. So that's college basketball. Let's go to pro basketball. I was pretty hot in pro basketball yesterday. Monday we're going to start playing some games. First, let's look at the scores. Detroit 117, Washington 95. I thought it would be an under because Cade Cunningham isn't playing. So Detroit wins by 22. They were laying 14. So they cover that. But 231 without Cade Cunningham, I thought was ridiculous. They scored 117. Washington gets 95. So Washington, very weak defense, no offense. Detroit, without their leading scorer, doesn't score the way they should. So, yeah, under was the play. Charlotte against Orlando. Charlotte's a very good team, apparently, 130 to 111. Lane 5.5, they cover, and over 226. So Charlotte looks like an over team and a pretty good team, 36 wins. New Orleans played San Diego again, back-to-back days. This is bizarro land. This time they won 105-99. They were laying 3.5, total of 228. They go under. So they might have a good defensive team because San Diego scores a lot unless Kawhi Leonard didn't play. Maybe not. Cleveland 115, Chicago 110. Cleveland lane 9.5. Chicago 9.5 is good. A home dog, as I say. It's very hard to play road favorites. Be very careful. It's got to be against the Z team only. And total of 236, and it's 225. Chicago normally scores. Cleveland, 225 is about right. It was a big number, 236. The Lakers, I like the over in this game, wins, and I like the Lakers as a dog. They win 134-126. Lakers were getting 3.5, and the total was 242, and they got the 260. Lakers are an over team. They don't play defense. LeBron doesn't know how to play defense. He's even playing. Luca Brasi was out there making offers they couldn't refuse, cutting off horses' heads, all that kind of stuff. So he probably scared the Heat. And, All right. So Lakers, very live dog, especially against Miami, who's not good. Now the Lakers are on the East Coast. San Antonio and Phoenix. San Antonio wins 101-100, a defensive game. Phoenix getting 9.5 was good. And 228, they go under. Utah kills Milwaukee. I loved Utah as a home dog. They were getting 5.5 from Milwaukee, and Milwaukee's best player didn't play. That Hallie Youptu guy. They only get 96. Utah 128. So they go under 227. But more importantly, Utah's a home dog. So if they want to play Milwaukee as a favorite without Eligaguplu, whatever the fuck the guy's name is, just bet against Milwaukee. Without their star, they don't have. You got to understand the NBA, and the thesis I did the other day, there's not enough good players to support 32 teams or 30 teams, right? There's not enough. There's 8 or 9 good players in the league. That's it. I don't call Kevin Durant a good player, James Harden. They're just scorers. We had George Gervin. We had, what was the guy? The guy Lloyd B. Free. I mean, that guy never missed. But they're just good scorers. They're not good players. And then our last one, Philly 138, Sacramento 139, 118. Philly does win as a small road favorite and a total of 228. So again, Sacramento without the defense. Utah had defense, 126-98, or the fact that Milwaukee didn't play their best player. So that was basketball yesterday. Now let's look at today. Let me read Johnsy. Duke almost lost. Why the spread so high? I don't know what you're talking about. What game? Luca Brasi is good. He had 60 points for the Lakers. Okay. He's all right, I guess. I don't know. He takes 3-point shots, so I have no respect for him. When you're 7 foot tall, you got to be around the basket. It worked for Kareem. It worked for Wilt. I'm sorry. And don't give me, it's a different game now. I hate that excuse. It's not a different game. The lane's the same. The basket's 10 foot high. You have a lane. You have a 24-second clock. It's exactly the same game. If these morons choose to shoot outside because Steph Curry did it 20 years ago and, let's copy him because I'm too stupid to create my own play, well, fuck them. But until he shoots inside, I don't buy Luca Brasi at all. All right, Detroit and Golden State's in Detroit. Detroit 5.5, 217. They did play at Washington yesterday. Golden State without Steph Curry. So here's what I mean about Detroit. They're 50-19, and they played Washington 2 games in a row, and the Nets. Now they get Golden State without Steph Curry, and you want me to think they're a good team because they have a good record, and I'm not going to buy it. They still stink. As soon as this is like the Lions, and when they get a good team, they choke because Jared Goff chokes, and you're getting the same thing here. They're just playing a high school team basically, and Washington and Brooklyn, and now without Steph Curry, Golden State. This has got to be an under game here. I would make this like a 5-star. Detroit 5.5. Well, I don't want to take Golden State without Steph Curry, but they don't have Cunningham. So the 2 leading scorers are where are you going to get the points? 217. This is an under. I'm tempted to write this down somewhere. I got to get paper. This is an under game. You can bet on this game. You can bet actual money on this game. Very small, but you can start betting. I like the game under without. Here's the injuries. Detroit's playing back-to-back. Golden State might even win, but without Curry. With Curry, they had won. The New York against Brooklyn, again, playing a high school team. New York 17.5, 214. Brooklyn won't be competitive. I think you take it. I don't know what you're going to get with Brooklyn. I would think this is an over game. I think New York scores like 135, 140, which means maybe you get 100 from Brooklyn, 240. Yeah, I go over with this game. 17.5, no way, no how. 17.5 in the NBA, no thanks. That's too much. Johnsy, Steph Curry is a great player, but he is a pure shooter. Okay. We got Atlanta against Houston. Apparently, Atlanta on a really hot streak. I mean, I see them win, but they won like 9, 10 in a row, and they're at Houston. Again, I don't know anybody on either of these teams. Houston 3.5, 228. I would take Atlanta as the dog here. That's a good play, 3.5. Portland, Minnesota, pretty good game here. Both teams can score. Mini 2.5, 231. I go over 231 here. Boston and Memphis. Boston laying 14.5, 229.5. Jesus Christ. Boston with Jack Tatum back can score. Memphis put up a big number the other night. I don't know. Boston has a good defense, but maybe that was because Jack Tatum was out. I don't know. I'm not laying 14.5. unless the star's sitting out for Memphis, if they have a star. I think I'd go over in the game. And Toronto and Denver, very attractive here. Denver 7.5, 238.5. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go over here. 238.5. Toronto scores. Denver scores at home. What do we got? Kiki Vandeweghe playing for Denver. Toronto. I don't know any of their old players. Did they have a team back in the '80s? I don't think so. 238. Let's go. Let's take Toronto and what did I say? Over or Toronto? Let's go over 238 in this game. That's it. There's not a lot of games, and none of them are on TV. See the Piston game. You want to watch it? You can't. It's so. These guys are so stupid. Now I am noticing a few more basketball games on regular TV. I'm starting to notice. I think what happens is they get so bad that they don't show them on TV. Because in the 70s, before Magic and Bird came, 77, 78, the games were on like CBS at 11 o'clock, tape delayed. They weren't even live because basketball nobody cared about until Magic and Bird came. And I think that's what you have now. The league sucks, so nobody wants to watch it. So it doesn't get on regular TV because the ratings are so low. Now they're starting. I'm noticing they're starting. They'll have a couple games on Sunday or something. But like here, Detroit should be on regular TV here. Maybe an off channel, but it should be on regular TV. If I want to watch the game, I should be able to watch it. I can. It's on Fox Detroit, Sports Detroit, or whatever that is. I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to pay to watch it. I think people are out of their minds if they start paying for Fox Detroit or Yes or Kump, KUNP, or NBC Sports. What are you, out of your mind? Who's paying this money? Okay. Oil, gas prices are going to the moon. Food prices are going to the moon. You want fucking, you're going to watch Amazon and Fox Detroit or FDS, whatever it is. Yeah, let's say I can eat because I got to pay gas for my car, or I'm going to, I can watch, I can pay for Amazon so I can watch a basketball game. Yeah, I don't think my family is going to eat. I think I'll watch the game instead. I mean, this is ridiculous. And Trump is totally fucked. The world's totally fucked because the supply of oil is going down. And Iran's not stopping. They have to make concessions. They won't. This Ukraine-Russian war should be ending. It's the elites who want to keep power, keep the war going. I don't know how that keeps them in power, but they keep the war going. I'd throw them all out if I could. You need the military to take over. Anyway, so that's basketball. Let's go to NFL. And there's no scores, so we'll look at news or anything. 2026 NFL draft rankings, defensive line and edge breakdown. Who cares? Jeremiah Love is worth a high draft pick, but he has a flaw that he's not worth a high draft pick. He's a back for Notre Dame. They had the easiest schedule in the country last year. How did he do against Miami? So let's answer that question. Let's see how good this motherfucker is. Let's go back to week 1 and Jeremiah Love against Reuben Bain. All right. Miami 27, Notre Dame 24. Let's go take a look at the box score. This will tell you if Jeremiah Love is worth taking in the first 2-3 rounds. Jeremiah Love, 10 attempts, 33 yards against Reuben Bain. And he's going to get a whole lot of Reuben Bains in the NFL. There you go. That's my point. 10 rushes, 33 yards. Longest was 8 yards. But then when he gets in against Army and Navy, he has big games, and that's what they look at. But this is how you have to break the player down. Against Miami, 10 rushes, 33 yards. He's not enough. First-round draft pick. Let's look at Miami. Let's look at their running back. I thought it was in the box score. Okay. Oh, I see. There it is. All right, so let's look at Miami's running back. Fletcher, 15 carries, 66 yards, 4-point average, and a 15-yarder. So look at the difference. I'd rather have Fletcher than Love. That's the bottom line, because he did it against Notre Dame, but against Miami, he couldn't do it. Against a really strong defense, Jeremiah Love didn't show up, 33 yards. So that's how you draft a guy. I would draft Fletcher in the second or third round, and I would not touch Love. Unless you're playing Army and Navy in the pros or Stanford, you probably don't want to touch Love. It's all about the competition and who they play. This is what people don't understand. They look at the stats, but you got to dig into the stats. So Love against Miami, forget it, 33 yards, not a chance. All right. That's how we problem solve. Well, wait, I want to go back to pros. I think the free agency is pretty much done. Smart Poker, how are you, sir or ma'am? Would you play teasers? Hopefully I get reconnected. If you play teasers, okay, I think I'm okay. If you play teasers, it takes away the fix, because you're not fixing the teaser, you're fixing the game. So if somebody's laying 7.5, they win by 7, but I only care because I'm laying 1.5. So I still win. But, I keep the stats. So if their games are being fixed, the stats wouldn't hold up. In other words, here's my stats. New England was 19-1 in a teaser, and Seattle was 16-3, and Denver was 17-1, and New England was 18-1 in a teaser. Are the games fixed? Do I give a shit? No, because in the teaser, I get a 17-1, 18-1, 17-2 team. What does that tell you? Is that those games aren't being fixed, or it doesn't matter? It's a teaser, and that's the whole point of why we bet teasers in football. It overrides the fix. But are they fixing every game? I don't know. I think the player props in basketball are fixed. I'd be very leery about betting a player prop in basketball. Baseball is definitely fixed. Absolutely. It's such chaos where this guy's pitching 5 innings. I showed you Sandy Koufax, 65 World Series. In the game, the winning pitcher, it went 7 games. in the 7 wins, the starter pitched the whole game, all 9 innings. Koufax, Game 7, pitched all 9 innings, and he won 2-1 or 2-0 or something. And they didn't do this 5 inning, 6 inning bullshit. That's where the fix comes in, because then you bring in, which reliever do I bring in? I could bring in a good one or a bad one. Like you see a 2.0 ERA pitcher come in, and then you see a pitcher come in who's got like a 10 ERA, and you go, what the fuck did they put him in for? That's your fix. But everything's fixed. I mean, we know the banks are fixed. We know the stock market's fixed. We know they keep suppressing the price of gold and silver. They suppress the price of oil. We get all that. But what do? If you want to bet on sports, you understand it's fixed, but that's where the teasers break the fix, because in the teaser, I'm not being fixed. You can't, when the spread's 7.5, you can win by 7 and no more. They're not saying you can win by, you can only win by 1. They're not like, wait, the teaser knocks it down to 1.5, so you can only win by 1. That's not how they're fixing it. And it's a lot of player props. Okay, I don't care about that in football. The defense, you're really not messing with. And Mahomes is going to win the games, and Joe Burrow, or they're going to score a lot of points. And that's where the totals come in. And that's where the whole teaser is. It breaks out the fix. So, I mean, I don't care that football is fixed, because I figured out a way to beat the fix, right? The teaser beats the fix, so I don't care. Basketball, I don't know if these games are fixed. Are you in the stock market? That's more fixed than this. It's I had a comment on Chris Moneymaker that was fixed, because when he was in the tournament, there was maybe 800 people in the World Series of Poker, and then he won, and then everybody and their mother got in. And by the way, they all lose. All the professionals eventually lose in poker, because once it becomes a job, they don't know how to do it. These are people that really can't handle jobs. They're all like Daniel Negreanu is he's a little schemer. He has plans. He gets schemed. He was a hustler at poker, whatever, at pool. So they're all little hustlers, little sides. When you go into work and you work a real job, you learn how to work. You learn how to budget. Especially, I do budgets. So most of these professional poker players just they fizzle out. Very few even ever make it. You have to have money management and know your bankroll and stick to it. And if you can't do that, because even like Scotty, Stewie Younger, he made millions of dollars, but he lost millions of dollars. Then he'd win a tournament for $1 million, and he'd go bet $1 million on horse races and lose it all. And then he did all his coke. So they burn out because they don't know what they're doing. They need the action most of the time. So they play hands they shouldn't be playing because they need the action. Me, I can sit there and throw away hands. It's not a problem. But most people need the action. They need to play the hand. Maybe I'll get a miracle. I'll play 3-9, and maybe I'll get the flop will come 3-3-9. Yeah, that happens most of the time, doesn't it? So that's the difference. But everything's about money management, budgeting, and making sure you don't lose your bankroll. So stock market, Mr. Poker 9, are you in the stock market? Are you in gold and silver, as you should be? Gold and silver is the only thing that is not fixed. It's fixed in COMEX, but the physicals, you can't fix it. That's why we're in it. Johnsy, what is liquidity? Liquidity, what exactly are you talking about? It's just how easy it is to sell something. So how easy is it for me to sell Canadian Club? Well, not easy. I'd have to put it on eBay, but it wouldn't be easy to sell that. How easy is it to sell golden coin? No, okay. So how easy is it to sell this? Very easy. I go to the coin store, I give it to him, and he gives me money. Very easy to sell. This is very liquid, as is my gold, to the coin store, not the bank. Stocks are easy to sell, and then you ask for your money out of your account. So let's say you have 20,000 in an account. You go, oh, I'm going to play Amazon. I'm going to play Apple, GM, whatever, Nestle's, Coca-Cola, and you just sell it. You just put a sell order in. It sells automatically. Boom, it's sold. Now the money's in your account. You want to get the money. You say, I want to do a withdrawal, and it goes right into your bank account. So liquidity is how easy it is to get rid of things. It's a little harder to get rid of the Montana rookie because now it's 125,000 and I got to sell it on eBay, and I can put a 1 week auction. I have to auction it to sell it, or go to a sports card show where I can set up a table. If I try to sell it to a dealer, I'm not going to get 125 because he's not going to pay full price for it. And different auctions have different amounts. So there's a 125 Montana, there's a 75, there's a 90, there's a 100. They're all different markets. And then you sell it, and then you got to wait to get the money, and then you get the money, and then you got to maybe put it in PayPal, and then you got to move it to your bank. So it's not as liquid, but it's liquid. Like if you want to get cash, you go to the bank, say, give me $100. That's pretty liquid. Or the ATM. If you want to go to the grocery store, it's very liquid to use your money to buy groceries. So liquidity is how easy it is to get your whatever you're trying to do. So again, if you have if you have a Picasso, it's not as liquid as having a Mantle card. But you got to sell the Picasso. You're going to sell at an auction. The Mantle card you're going to sell on eBay. You could put it up for an auction, but probably on eBay. So that's what liquidity is. So is gold and silver very liquid? Bonds, I don't know. I won't play them. Stocks, very liquid. Put the money in the account. You buy the stock, very easy. Then you sell it, very easy. And if you want your money back, see, that's where they get you. You might make money on the stock. I buy Disney and it went up and now it's worth, I made 20,000 on it. But now what do? Oh, let's buy another stock. That's the Ponzi scheme that you're in. Taking your profit out is the hard part. So you have it in this account where you have the money, but you didn't take it out yet. So that's what you gotta keep in mind. But yeah, poker, we know all about, everything's fixed. The election's fixed. Everything is fixed by the elitists, the bankers, the mafia. So would you be upset if I told you the stock market's fixed and the COMEX is fixed and Bitcoin's fixed? Would you be upset if I told you all that? Like, don't tell me something I already know. All right, let's see. Is there any news in NFL? So Jeremiah Love is not worth a high first round pick. He's not worth a first round pick. I'd rather have the Miami running back Fletcher. How long will Fernando Mendoza Raiders need to return to the playoffs? I'd say at least 5 years, maybe 10. It all depends on their draft picks, their coach, their GM. I'd say it'd take a while. That's about it. The Dolphins traded Waddle. Who cares? He stinks. The refs. So nothing really new came out. All right. So we checked the market today. We've checked Bitcoin and gold and silver. And gold and silver are getting hit again, unfortunately. But it's because of the dollar and the oil. Let's see. Silver's at basically 70. Gold is at, can I get a price on gold, please? 45.65. And we just had a big 10 o'clock drop there from 46.80 to 45. So it drops $100 because it's 10 o'clock. That's fixed. But we know the real value of gold is much higher. So again, the U.S. playing games with COMEX. It's disastrous. It's really ridiculous. All right. War and oil. Let's talk about that. So the war, they're blowing up oil wells. Is this designed? Is this fixed? You knew this was going to happen if you went to war with Iran. The statement of we wanted a regime change, we thought they had nuclear weapons is bullshit. That's the story, but that's not the reality. You knew that was going to happen. I think Israel wants to be the leader in the Middle East, and Iran doesn't. They don't want Israel to do it. They're backed by Russia and China. Israel's backed by U.S., which looks like a bunch of crap. This war is going on. It goes back to the defense contractors. The defense contractors always want war because they always want to sell their weapons. So that's what's going. That's really the underlying thing. When we look at COMEX and we see, as I just said, gold at 4,600 or 4,650, what we really see is nothing has changed. It's still options by the banks shorting it because they want to buy dollars, I guess, or they want to buy oil. So I guess the dollar's going up, which makes no sense, and oil's going up. So maybe they're getting out of the gold and silver options and buying that. But again, it's still options. This is still paper gold and paper silver, not physical. Yes, it's going down. Yes, the morons at the coin short price gold and silver based on COMEX for some strange reason. Makes no sense. It's not close to reality. The supply of gold on COMEX versus the supply of gold in the physical world are not even close. They're much different. So the price you get for a more supplied thing is a lot higher than it, or a lot lower than it would be if you use physical gold, because there's only 200,000 tons of physical gold. The price should be about 30, 40,000 with the massive inflation that's happening. So the dollar's losing the value, which is inflation, which everybody seems to get wrong, except for me and Egon. Well, Egon got it from me, but it's the money printing is the inflation, not the prices. The prices are controlled by the market. As you have the supply going down in oil, the price goes up. As the demand for gold goes up, the price should be going up because the supply hasn't gone up. So in the physical world, is there more gold or silver? Did somebody find a big supply on a new mine? No. Did the demand drop? No. But what's happening in the paper market, the demand's going from gold and silver to oil and the paper. So people are making money in the oil options and they're getting out of that because who gives a fuck? We're buying physical, not paper. So again, the physical gold, this is a temporary. They're buying the oil. The dollar cannot be going up in value. It might be going up in value versus the euro and the yuan and the British pound. It's not going up in value, though. In reality, the dollar is still worth nothing. It's not like all of a sudden the dollar is worth 20 cents. It's still worth zero. So that's the key to it. And that's why, like, you've kind of got to just understand that this is a temporary thing because of the war. This is a temporary thing because gold is, people are buying oil and making money off of that. The billionaires are in oil now, and they'll come back to gold and silver. There'll be a point, and then it'll shift down, and then Trump will do this. I heard that Trump's kid before his speech, made a big option play and made a lot of money just before the speech. He did some. He just before the speech, he did a big short or something, and then in the speech, whatever this was regarding, he said this, that, and the other, and then it happened, and the kid made all this money shorting it. So Trump's getting what he deserves. He'll be impeached because this war is totally, I'm not going to say illegal, but Congress didn't say go to war. Israel, we're going to war because Israel wants us to. What kind of crap is that? The whole thing's again, so nothing's changed. The defense contractors want war, and that's what you got. You know, we're in war with what? Russia and Ukraine, and we're in war with China and Russia and Iran with Israel. So we're in two wars, and Venezuela, not really a war. We just took the leader to, he's vacationing in New York somewhere, and that's it. And then we have Cuba coming up, batting fourth. It's a disaster. Trump's a disaster, but it's all Israel control. So my guess is they're blackmailing Trump with these Epstein photos. Trump obviously was there with underage girls. It's obvious, and he's being blackmailed. So yeah, doesn't take much to figure that out. And then so Netanyahu's is I'll expose you if you don't help us. So Trump's, oh, okay, I'll help you. It's really sickening. And then, the dollar, again, this is to keep your mind off of the Ukraine war. This is to keep your mind off of inflation. But the problem is there's going to be huge, the gas price will go up a little bit. We have a lot of oil, supposedly, which I doubt. We don't have any gold in your Fort Knox. So the price of the pumps already went up 60, 70 cents. So I thought, oh, Trump said that we have tons of oil. Yeah, what a bullshitter. He's such a liar. It's really disrespectful that he's the president and doesn't step down. But that's politics now. It's just the whole thing's disrespectful because nobody is there. I mean, they're all there to take the kickbacks from the lobbyists, the defense contractors. Here's your $1 million. Thank you. Go ahead. We'll have wars for you for the next 90 years. It's really stupid. It's killed the dollar. The dollar's dead. Don't think the dollar has any value. Gold and silver you see going down, it's only because right now the oil options are more appetizing than the gold and silver. The gold and silver are appetizing because the dollar is worthless. The oil is there because of the shortage in oil, not because of inflation. So this will be temporary, and then gold and silver should shoot up, especially with BRICS holding all the gold and the gold-backed currencies. All of BRICS is gold-backed currency now. So you have that. So gold is still fucking around in COMEX, which I think it will get away from. But again, this war it's a magician. Watch my left hand, not my right. The right hand is the dollar's worthless. And the left hand is, hey, let's have a war with Iran because it seems like a stupid thing to do. So we'll do it. And the defense contractors want it because now they can make more missiles, even though they take 2 years, 3 years to make. They have the contracts. They won't even make them. They'll just have the contracts to put in for the orders. I wouldn't pay them until they're done. Anyway, I wouldn't be dealing with the defense contractors. That's a very risky thing to be doing. I was talking to some girl yesterday at the pool, and one thing I said was, she's in this crypto and she's into this trading, and they have all this trading bullshit. And I said to her, this is a game you can't win. you're playing like she's playing the out. Like she showed me, oh, I made $5,000 on Bitcoin at 70, went to 71 or something. And I said to her, she's trading it. I don't know what that means. I mean, um, I don't know how you buy it. To me, you buy Bitcoin. I buy gold. I buy the gold. I don't trade it. You got to be an idiot to trade gold. You buy the physical. So she's buying Bitcoin, and I said to her, "This is a game you can't win because even if you make $10,000, you're in dollars. Even if you make 100,000 of this, it's still crap. It's still worthless. So this is the whole game. What I keep telling you on the Titanic, the end game is to get into this. Even if you hold 1,000,000 of these, this is worth more than 1,000,000 of these. Even though this is worth, what is it, 75 right now versus this. So understand that that's what's happening. This is still worthless money, as is everybody, even the defense contractors. If they don't buy gold, they hold nothing. All the congressmen who take the bribes, it's still money. It's worthless. They might put it in the stocks. That's paper. It's still worthless. So that's kind of what's happening. So these wars are just a magician. Look at my left hand, not my right. They go to war. They shoot empty. I don't know. They're basically shooting empty buildings and blowing up things. Saying, "Hey, look at us!" And Israel's getting crushed. Tel Aviv and Haifa are getting crushed. I don't know what the purpose of. Let's keep fighting. They should be surrendering. They have nukes, but I think they're like the nukes on 24, where there'll just be a little 10-mile radius where the nuke hit, and that's about it. So yeah, we see gold and silver down, and we're like, what the fuck? It shouldn't go down. The value of gold and silver has not dropped. Let's put it that way. People might have sold out of the options and are buying oil or gas on Comex. I guess it would be oil. So they're buying oil. So they're not refilling their gold, and so they keep shorting. They keep dumping their gold and buying the oil. That's all that's happening here. Did gold really lose value? No, gold has not lost value. Physical gold, you're still finding. Understand that. So that's where we stand. So don't be scared. Just hold physical. Really, you don't have a choice, because if you stay in this, you're fucked because this isn't worth anything. Wars are extremely expensive. All the missiles, the tanks, the planes, the people, you got to feed them. You need oil. You got to have gas for the fuel of the boats and the aircraft. We don't have an army to actually have tanks and jeeps and go in there and defeat whom? Who are we fighting in Iran? It's such bullshit. And they're just shooting missiles off. Great, you left some crazy guy in Iran. You killed him, and now you got some other crazy guy. I don't think there'll be a nuclear war with real nukes. Maybe just the baby ones that hit, like I said, a 10-mile area, like on 24. That's it. But again, the gold price is going down because they're buying oil. So instead, what they would have done when the gold price went down, everybody bought it back up. Now they're selling more gold to go and buy these oil options. And again, it's on Comex. So again, it's bullshit. Andy, can W. I don't know your question, Andy. Welcome to the class, but I don't know what you're asking. So we will get back. Again, I use the Titanic as the example. If you're on the second deck, third deck, or fourth deck, the boat's still sinking. So if you're in stocks, bonds, real estate trust, you're in oil options, if you're in anything in options, the boat's still sinking. The only lifeboat you can get into is gold and silver. So even if you get into the oil options, the dollar is worthless. It's funny how nobody says it, or it's funny how people say, well, we can print as much as we want. Where do people get this stupid idea? Jim Rickards, fucking idiot. Well, you can print as much as you want because we're the reserve currency. No, because in other words, what they're trying to say is that there's demand for the currency because when you need it to buy oil, but if you overprint it and you print it to death, it's not the reserve currency. And it's not the only currency you buy for gas with Saudi Arabia. That's what it is. It's Saudi Arabia selling the gas, saying we can only take dollars. Well, that's gone now. It is not. We can only take dollars. Mm-mm. Now they'll take yuan. It'll take other currencies. They take rubles, but Russia doesn't need to buy oil. Japan, they're buying um, with their currency, as is like South Korea, Vietnam, all the far west, far east is buying from the Middle East in whatever their currency is. They don't need dollars. Saudi Arabia prefers not to have dollars because they don't buy the treasuries. Part of this whole thing is the U.S. Knows they're fucked by BRICS, and so look who they're attacking: Iran in BRICS, Venezuela in BRICS, Cuba in BRICS, Mexico, I think, is joining BRICS. And the only one not in BRICS was the Ukraine, but that was to invade Russia. So Trump's got us in all these wars because his buddies and the defense contractors want to make sales, even though he's absolutely destroying the country. And that's what you have. So let's talk a little poker. I was watching this guy, and it was like the 2017, the guy who wore the stupid hat. And they were talking about his bluffs to win. He did a little bluffing, but what they're doing is he was aggressive. And there was this other guy who's calling himself a pro, who's not a pro, who's clueless. This guy would be aggressive. The guy who won the amateur, I don't know, Jerry Win or something, and he would look for your reaction. When he had a hand, he'd check, and when he made a big bet, he was bluffing. And this guy who called himself a pro, who's the worst pro I've ever seen, would slow play him like you'd have a pair of nines. And he'd check and the guy would bet and he'd call. And then he'd check and the guy would bet and he'd call. And then it would get to the river and he would check and the guy would go all in and he'd fold. And you're like, what strategy is this? If you're going to do that, you've got to call the river. Obviously, if he's going all in, he obviously is bluffing because you're not going all in. Again, if you had a full house, let's say, you'd want to not go all in because you want the guy to call you. And in an all-in, more than likely, people won't call you, which is the biggest key to a bluff. Is these big bets are bluffs. All the way they're bluff. You're checking and he's betting. The next move is to then check raise them all in. If I was playing a guy like that, and I told you I played the Russian girl, and that's exactly how I'd play. I knew she bluffed, so she'd make a big bet, and I'd have aces, and I would check, and she'd bet. And the next card came and I would check and she'd bet. And then I would go all in, two clubs or two spades on board. I don't want her to catch the flush. You have to protect your hand, and aces are not that strong once the five cards are out there. So it's okay. The flop you can check and she's going to make her bet. It's the turn that you cannot let it go to the river. And if you're going to let it go to the river checking, you certainly on the river, you've got to be expecting this big bet because it's the only way they can win, right? And so you have to expect it. And then you got to say, am I going to call? Or you're the one who's going to bet. You got to make a bet and you've got to protect your hand. So in my world, to protect my aces, the flop comes and there's two spades or two clubs, two heart, whatever, 7, 8, a diamond. I'm going all in. I'm making a big bet because I don't want you to call. But on the river, when they make the big bet, because they don't want you to call. That's why they go all in on the river, because they hope you fold. When I do it, I hope you fold if I go all in on the flop or the turn, because I don't want you to catch the straight or flop. I have the hand. They're doing it just as a bluff. They don't have anything. You would think a pro would understand that. This guy, he's probably cleaning garbage cans now or working at the grocery store. I can't see this guy being a professional player. I mean, he's terrible. It was the worst player I've ever seen. He folded like good hands. Again, he'd check the flop and he checked the turn, but his mistake was then the bet would come on the river and he'd fold. Well, what are you doing? I think one hand he had, I think it came like 9-6-2, and he had nines. He had ace-9 or something, and then a 10 hit, and then like a 3 hit. And the guy goes all in on the river, and he folds. What the fuck you're ahead the whole, you have ace-9, how can you fold? Well, maybe you hit the 10. Oh, yeah, okay. If you're going to play like that, there's the grocery store. I mean, I don't understand it. So on the other hand, the bluffer, what is he looking at? He's checking to me, he's weak. So there's the type of player who looks for the weak player, and I'm going to make a big bet and he'll fold. Now, it's more late in the tournament when there's chips to be made. In a cash game, it's very hard to do that. I'm playing 1-3. One guy's in for 3, I'm in for 3. You're going to make a $50 bet and win $6? Be my guest. You can have $6 for 50. I want to bet 6 to win 50, not 50 to win 6. What do you mean by that, Howard? Well, I want to kind of keep it quiet and maybe bet $10 and get 3 or 4 callers. And then now I've got 4 times the amount. So for $10, I got 40 in the pot. That's what I want, not $40 to win 10. I bet 10 to win 40. So I'd rather have that. Now I need a big hand to play like that, but even though you see what happens, but that's the key is you don't want to scare everybody out. But when you see the guy make the big bet on the flop, well, he probably hit 2 pair. There was a hand that the pro again fucked up. He has ace-9. It comes ace-9. I think a couple of clubs. And then the river comes. It's like a king, a diamonds, and the guy again checks, and the guy again bets, and the guy again calls. Well, what did he do wrong? Okay, first of all, I get the checking, and then because the guy's going to bet, but then you got to go all in because you don't want him seeing the river. There's 2 clubs out there. You've got 2 pair. You can't check. Now, you didn't even give him a free card because he tried bluffing you. But you don't know how to play. You have to defend your hand. My 2 pair against 2 clubs, I got to make a big bet and get you out because I've got you killed. I'm not going to maybe a diamond will show. The club showed and he lost. And it's like, you have to protect your hand. That's the one thing when you watch high stakes poker with like Doyle Brunson and those guys, Sammy. That's why you see Doyle throw in 100,000 on the flop or the turn. They don't want the straight or the flush to hit. I got aces. I'm protecting my hand. I'm making this big bet, so you fold. That's what they're doing because I don't want to give you a chance to draw the flush or the straight out. That's the whole point. That's the protection part of your hand. That's why you make the big bet. You don't care that the guy's a bluffer. At that point, you put him on, you go all in and see how he reacts because you haven't done that. Is he going to react or not? So that's one thing you need to do. So Andy, I don't know what you're asked. Canned and then CA and then you're gone. Okay, I finally lost that error message. That's good. What else? So poker. I was watching something that most professional poker players eventually lose. And the reason I can play and handicap and bet football since 1969 or whatever is because I learned how to problem solve it. And it's me against the game, right? I'm not playing different styles. I'm playing one style. I can get away with it picking football games or picking basketball games, I guess. But let's say football, college or pro. Do they have a Mahomes? Do they have a good defense? Who's their coach? And you slide from team to team. Oh, it's the 70s Steelers. Oh, now we go to the 89ers. Oh, Lawrence Taylor came in. Oh, we can make money with him. Oh, here's Jimmy Johnson in college, and he goes to the pros. We can make money with Jimmy. On and on and on we go, and we look for identifiers, certain patterns, certain things. I'm excellent at spotting patterns. That's my gift, is to look at the riddle and solve it, right? And that's what problem solving is what's the problem? Picking the game. How do you solve it? Well, you got to learn the teams. How are they going to win? How are they going to play? How are they going to lose? What's the problem? In the Super Bowl, we knew Seattle's defense is going to be all over Drake May because he wasn't that good of a quarterback. They didn't have a running attack. The receivers were weak and their line sucked. And Seattle had just beaten the Rams. And we said, well, shit, they beat the Rams. They beat New England. Darnold, we knew was a problem, but we knew that Kenneth Walker was the key to the game and the very strong defense of Seattle. So we problem solve that. And it doesn't matter if it's Seattle, New England, or Philadelphia, Kansas City, or Chicago and Pittsburgh. It doesn't matter. It's breaking the team down. How do you do that in poker? This is the problem. Oh, this guy's a bluffer. Well, this guy's not a bluffer. So, okay, this is how we play bluffers. This is how we play this type of. So you got what, 2 or 3 types of players. You either got the guy who's pretty conservative and waits till he gets a hand, and then he's in the hand, he's betting, probably got good cards. Then you got the bluffer who's going to bet a lot when he's bluffing and check when he's not, when he's got a hand. Maybe there's another type or so. I don't know. I don't know how many other types. I mean, you have, I got a hand, I'm going to bet, I'm going to be aggressive. Maybe there's aggressive players and check raisers type. And pretty much you have to identify what they are and then know how to beat them and then know how to problem solve them. So the bluffer, yes, you slow play, but when they bluff at you, you gotta, and you have a good hand, you've got to call it. You can't fold it when you have it. That's the whole point of the slow play, is you've got them and you make the bet. And then he makes a big bet. Well, you can't fold on the big bet because he's making the big bet to get you to fold. That's the whole idea of the big bet. So you've got to understand that concept, that the big bet is to get you to fold. And if the guy has a big hand, he's not going to make the big bet. No, so it's just that. So you get your slow players, you get your aggressives, you get your check raisers, all that. So there's maybe 3, but maybe 4 or 5 types, and then you just figure out what type they are, which takes you a little bit of time. But you watch them against other players, and then you figure out what to do. So when you get a big hand, who is this guy? Is he a bluffer? I'll slow play. Is he not a bluffer? And if he's in the hand, then I got a fast play. He's going to call me. So is he a calling station like Daniel Negreanu? Is he a bluffer? Is he tight like Phil Hellmuth? Is he a bluffer like Tom DeWan? And you're going to play all 3 of them differently. But it still comes down to poker. You got to get the cards. I was listening to Mike Sexton yesterday on one of his poker things. He says, we can't just wait for aces and kings. You gotta play. The aggressive player wins. Well, that's a bunch of bullshit. The aggressive player wins when the guy he's playing against doesn't catch any cards. If they don't catch cards, then the aggressive player wins, because I can't call you. So if the bluffer bluffs and I have king 6 off suit, and then the flop comes 10-9-2, and he makes a bet, I have to fold. I don't have anything. That's when the bluff, they're not even really bluffing. It's just they're making a bet. They might even have the best hand and not. They might have queen high and have you beat. But this is why you can't just play 2 crap cards, because you can't sit there against a bet. I got Jack 5 and somebody bets, well, my game, somebody bets $50. I'm folding. I'm not in with Jack 5, so I don't have to worry about that. Oh, well, let's play for the miracle, Jack 5. Or I should be aggressive. He bets I should come over the top. Well, that only works if he's got shit. Got shit. And that's why is he the type of player that has shit or not? That's just cards. So in my mind, the only way to win at poker is to wait for the good cards. And that's how I win at it. And I'm very successful at it. I don't play it every day. And like that was the one thing in the video. It says, well, it's more of a job to people and they're playing it. You wake up, you go play poker. Well, I don't buy it either. I think if you money manage, you can be a professional player, get your money, pay your bills. So you got your rent and your, food and gas. And then with whatever's left, you can play some more, but you got to be careful about it. And then, would you, after paying your bills, you have $100 left. Would I go bet $1,000 on a horse race? No. Would I play craps for $1,000 if I only have 100 to bet? No. So you can't be stupid. And then are you smart enough to buy gold and silver with your winnings? So if I won the World Series of Poker and made $5 million, after tax and everything else, it'd be $1 million or $2 million in gold and silver. Now I'm okay. And then, I don't need to play the poker. I'll play the gold and silver. It's a better profession buying gold and silver than playing poker. But it's, people play every day, or these online idiots. You got to be an idiot to play online because it's all talk about fixed. They see your whole cards. They got all this, all these programs that can see your cards. You got to be nuts. I think that's how Gus Hansen lost like a couple $1 million playing online. And I think they knew his cards, I'm sure, and that's how he lost. You got to play live. You can't play online. And that's the same thing with Bitcoin. You've got to be in real money. You can't be in fantasy money. It all comes around. But anyway, in my mind, you can only play hands that you can call a bluff with. Because if you play 2-7 offsuit, thinking I'm going to bluff, and then you bet, and then he comes over the top, you can't call it. He hit aces. He's got kings. That's why you need to play hands you can call a bluff with. You can't just bluff. Now you can be the big blind and call it and see a flop, and then it comes check, check to you, and then, okay, I'll bet. Or you're on the button and it's check, check, check. And then you make a bet. Then maybe they fold, but you're not winning any money anyway. The whole strategy of the bluff is really retarded. You're taking a risk that the guy doesn't have a hand. So if he's slow playing you, you're really fucked. Unless you got a total idiot like this guy on the thing, he's going to call me. He's got aces. He's going to call me, or he's got top pair, top kicker. He's going to call me. So my bluff's not going to work. My bluff only works if he missed his if he didn't hit any, if he doesn't have any pair or a small pair, will my bluff work? So on the other side, you're an idiot to play pair of threes. If the guy makes a big bet at you and you're not going to call it, what the fuck you doing in there? Okay, I'll play a pair of threes, hoping I get a set on flop. Yeah, that's going to happen 1 in 1,000. It's just stupid hands. I'll play it for a small amount, but if it's a bet, a raise, and a re-raise, I'm not playing a pair of threes. If it's just check, check, check around, I'll play the pair of threes. So you really are looking at it, but it's the bluffer's hoping you don't have a hand. Because if you have a hand, he's fucked. And that's the problem. And he has no idea if you have a hand because he can't see your cards. And you could be acting weak or strong that you have a hand. So keep that in mind. That's it. I mean, that's poker. Learn the type of players, but you want to play hands that you can call. So I only play good hands, right? I don't play 2-9. So if I'm sitting there for an hour or an hour and a half, like it was on my birthday, and I got nothing, I just folded. Or if I got an idiot next to me straddling every small blind I had, Now, if I actually got a hand, I would have slow played him, but I never got a hand. I kept looking at 3 sevens. It's $5. I'm at a 1-3 table. No, I want to see flops. He might raise it to 20, and I can't call a $20 bet with 3-7. Not going to happen. So I need a good hand to even enter the pot with. And if it's like I said, 2-6, even 9-4, Jack 3, I'm not entering. King 2, I'm not entering the pot. What if the king hits? I have no kicker. What if the 2 hits? Anything beats me. So that's really how you play poker. You've got to be able to call a bluff. If I'm playing Tom DeWan, I'm not seeing any hands. I'm folding unless I get a good hand. I'm folding. Now, all right, let me play Tom DeWan, the biggest bluffer. So I look at that. I look down. I get 3-9. I fold. I fold. I fold. I finally, okay, I got aces, and I just call. I just put in my $3. Then he comes over the top with this big bet. I will then go all in on him with aces. Now, I might call, but then if I see a flop and I catch the third ace, now I'm going to check it down unless there's 3 clubs on board or 2 clubs, and I'm worried about the flush or the straight. Well, there'll be 2 of it. The likelihood of you're on the turn and there's 4 different suits are very unlikely, and that they're not going to be straight cards. So with him, depending on the flop, I hit my set of aces. I will make a small, I'll just check it. He'll make a big bet. I will then come over the top, knowing he's probably bluffing. And if he comes over the top on me, it's all in. And I got a set of aces, and he's fucked. And I know he's fucked because if he had a hand, he'd be checking. He wouldn't be betting. So I know I got him beat. He's trying to get me out. Now, the next hand, I get aces again, and I check. Well, he doesn't know what to do. What do I do? Howard, he checked with the aces. Now what do I do? Gotta get the stupidest things. Not a pretty slate. 45.72 gold, but we know it's worth 25,000. So again, the physical gold is key. People are going to lose a lot of money because they'll be in their option gold, or they might start selling their physical gold. They're in trouble because then if you sell it, you're back in this. Now, are you buying options in oil? Like, how do you buy oil options where it's 120? I mean, you can't. I wouldn't know where to buy it. Anyway, in poker, so now I got him thinking. I checked with aces. He bet. I come over the top, and where I hit my set, and I got him. So the next hand comes, and I might have aces or kings or ace king, and I check again because it's Tom DeWan, and I know he's the biggest bluffer in the world, and he's going to make a bluff. He's going to bluff me again. Oh, he checked, but now he's going to wonder, well, do I try to bluff him? He checks his aces. He knows what he's doing. He's checking aces. So did he check aces or not? And I've done that when I play. People are clueless against me because I can't check my aces. And then I check. I was in a hand where I had kings and an ace flopped, and I checked, and everybody checked, and then it checked, and the showdown, everybody checked. Oh, you got a monster hand, and all I had was a pair of kings. But it confused them because I checked, and normally if I have a big hand, like the ace was there, and I had bet pre-flop, they probably thought I had ace king. And then nobody bet, and nobody had an ace. And it was kings, queens, and nines or something. And so I won, but I didn't bet because that, but nobody tried bluffing me because they knew I had a hand because of the pre-flop. So that's okay. So the point is, the bluff only works if I don't have a hand. And when you make this big bet, And it's, well, nobody wants to leave the tournament this early or the final table. They don't want to leave the final table, the first one out. Well, then why is the guy making the bet in the first place? He's obviously bluffing, because he wouldn't make that big bet and be the first one out. And so you've got to understand it. You got to change your game up. But the bluff only works if the guy has nothing. Right now, the guy got him to fold aces and nines. Well, no, that was actually a good fold because he actually hit a flush. The bluffer hit the flush and made a bet, but he didn't go all in. Right, so the guy didn't go all in. He just he made a bet. Right, so the all in. Think about it. What's the point? Is to get you out. Why else wouldn't? Because you want to get paid off, right? How often do you hear, well, he wants to make a bet big enough, but he wants to get paid off, and that's the whole point of it. So he's trying to get paid off. So he's not going to go all in. So when you get that big all in bet on the river, because it's the only way they can win the hand is to get you out, and you got a decent hand. Now, if you don't have a decent hand, you shouldn't be in there. Now, you got a pair of fours, you can't play the hand, because he's going to make the big bet. And can you call? And there's 4 or 5 overcards on the board, right? It's going to be an ace, a king, a queen, something. And that beats your fours. He makes this big bet. But the key is, would he make the big bet if he had something? And that's why you got to learn the player and watch him going. Let's see. He's got a pair of nines. He's not making this big, huge, go all in bet. He might be checking, or he might be betting a little bit. And then people fold. So people will fold to a big bet because they play bad cards. Oh, well, you got to be aggressive. Well, you can't be aggressive against a full house or a flush or a straight or a set. You got to know when you can be aggressive and when you can't. Now, the aggressive on these shows or in the real world only works against players that have no cards, which they probably shouldn't be in the hand. That's why you don't enter the hand if you got crap. What are you going to do? Some guy makes, in my game, somebody makes a $25 bet, and I got 6-3. Am I going to call him? Well, I got to go all in on him, and then hopefully he folds. So I'm going to make a $300 bet to win $25. Doesn't make sense to me. I want to make a $25 bet to win 300. I don't want to make a $300 bet to win 20. So he makes the bet. I'm going to go all in because I'm going to be aggressive with nothing, and the bet will get him out. Yeah, I mean, it's a bad way to play. You're going to lose a lot of money with that. That's why most of these people go broke, who are professional poker players. I laugh at that because there's can you really make a living at it? It's very hard to, because it's too much variables. Again, that term. I can pick football because I've got the variables figured out. I pretty much have figured out and problem solve football. So each year it's just the different who's this coach and that quarterback and that defense. This year it was New England and Denver and Seattle were good teams to bet on. And you still had your shit teams to bet against, right? The Eagles weren't as good, but the records showed that. The stats showed the Eagles weren't very good. Chicago was huge in a teaser. So you start seeing that. Oh, this Cincinnati, just bet them over. Teams like that. So that's what you're really looking at, is all that. So you have to be very careful about that you're doing it. But football, you can be professional at. It's the one thing you can't. You cannot play player props. That's bullshit, because that is fixed. The player might know, he might bet under 50 yards and he goes down at 48 yards and then he goes and loses 5 yards. He can control his player props. So you've got to be careful with that. We've seen enough fixing to go, but the game itself in the teaser world, you're fine. Especially the over under, put it in a teaser and you're fine. because they're just trying to go over or under. If it's 50, they'll score 49 or 51. You don't care. You're 44 or 56, so you don't care if they cover it or not. Anyway, so to play poker, there's too many variables. There, you can have pocket aces, and then somebody hits a set of sevens on you. Okay, in football, that very rarely happens. You bet on Mahomes as a dog, and you're pretty much going to win. Or you bet Josh Allen to score a lot at home, or you bet Philadelphia, or now you got Seattle, you got the Rams. The Rams got a 20-point lead. You're not going to get beat, right? You're not going to get your pocket aces taken out. So keep that in mind. So poker is very difficult because you have the aces, you bet, and then and a lot of it's luck. Well, I got ace king and I got ace queen, and the queen hit or the king. I mean, in football, there's a lot less luck than there is in poker. Certainly, blackjack and craps is virtually all luck. I'll double down my 11 and I got a 3. I'm fucked. So you got to be careful with those. Yeah, the only thing you can really bet to professionally to make money, which I do every year, is football. That's it. But I figured it out. I problem solved it, and it's just who's team A and who's team Z every year. You're looking A teams and Z teams, and they come out and they show you because you know what to look for, and that's how you win at it. The over teams. Oh, Joe Burrow and no defense. Yeah, they're going to score 50 points a game. I'll bet them over. Certainly in college, you have that all over the place. The TCUs, the Texas Tech normally, not last year. Ohio State, great defense, no offense. So you got that all over the place. So it's very easy to see what they, they haven't given up a point in 4 games. I think I'll bet them under. So you can do that, but you can't. Baseball is extremely difficult to do that because they bring in the relievers. And they don't let the pitcher pitch, and that's the biggest problem with base. Talk about fixed. That's probably the biggest fix in baseball is to not pitch your pitcher 9 innings like Skubal. Skubal pitched 6 innings against Seattle in the championship game, and they pulled him and they lose. Wait a minute, I bet Skubal. You mean they pulled him after 6 innings? I'm listening to a guy on the radio, and he's like, "Why does everybody hate Skubal?" Well, they probably lost a lot of money on that game. You have Skubal pitching, and they're winning. He's throwing, he's giving up 1 or 2 hits, striking out everybody, and then he pulls himself, and then they lose. How would you feel about Skubal, right? Oh, great. The guy cost me money, motherfucker. And that's what it is. He's a baby. He doesn't pitch 9 innings. Now, in 1965, I was showing you Sandy Koufax. He pitched game 7 against Minnesota, and it was a 2 or 3 hit shutout. And he pitched the whole game. He didn't I got to come out of the game. And so that's the difference. Sandy Koufax, you bet on, is going to give you 9 innings. Bob Gibson's going to give you 9 innings. Steve Carlton, Nolan Ryan, Jack Morris, that you're going to get them the whole game. Now, finding Skubal. I'm good for 5 guys. I got to go. My arm's starting to hurt because I'm a crybaby. I mean, do you really want to support a crybaby? And this is what people are like saying right now is he cost me a lot of money. He's a pussy. He comes out of the game. He's a loser. Oh, he won the Cy Young twice in a row. Well, against whom? Who did he win it against? Paul Scanes is in the National League, the only other good pitcher. There's no good pitching. Scanes. Skubal's in a very bad league with a bunch of very bad teams. So he's getting a Cy Young because he plays Minnesota, the White Sox, and Cleveland and Kansas City. None of the teams have 3 hitters that hit 300. Shit, the fucking Cleveland had 2 hitters that hit 250. 7 of their hitters were under 200. Oh, he beat them. Yeah, Whippy. Yeah, give him the Cy Young because he beat a bunch of nobodies. And then this is what the problem is. And he only goes 6 innings. He's too worried about himself, not the team, not the public, and nobody likes him. And nobody should like that. John C. Rest in peace, Mean Joe Green. Did you think he was? Yeah, it was great. That's why the Steelers won was Joe Green. Sorry to hear he died. Um, let's see, 50. So he's probably like in his 80s. And I'm frozen, but I think I'm having got a terrible day with this internet. Yeah, he was a great player. I do think players are great. Lawrence Taylor was a great player. Ronnie Lott and you know, Hacksaw Reynolds. Yeah, there's a lot of great players. I'm just saying now there's not as many great players. But am I still on, John C? I'm frozen again. Every once in a while, I get this internet problem. I can't wait till I move and have a normal internet. This system stinks. Okay, thank you, John C. So, yes, I thought Joe Green was great. I didn't think Terry Bradshaw was very good. I thought Franco was good. And I thought Lynn Swan and John Stallworth were great. And Lambert and Ham. And I think Mike Wagner was the most underrated there. He'd get a lot of good interceptions, Mike Wagner. And Green and Greenwood. Not a big Ernie Holmes fan. Dwight White, I thought, was pretty good. But they knew how to pick teams, So anyway, but that's what you got. But football was it's much easier to problem solve than poker. And again, poker, I got pocket aces. I should win the hand 99 out of 100. I shouldn't lose with pocket aces, but that's the problem with 5 community cards. Now, if I was playing 7-card stud, I would be much better at it because you don't have the community cards. The community cards really blow. I mean, Hold'em is such a bad game. It's too much luck, really. But again, so that's why the guy bluffs, to try to. So what is the bluff? It's to show I got a good hand. Well, why would you go all in then if you had a good hand? I mean, if you understand it like that and think of the concept, 1-3 game and he bets $300. Well, why would he bet $300? I mean, he doesn't really want to tell me he's got a full house because I got to call him. So if he bets all his money, and then I got to think, well, wait a minute, he's putting all his money in. He's telling me he's got a full house, but why would he tell me he's got a full house? He doesn't want to tell me he's got a full house. He wants to tell me he's, if he had the full house, he wouldn't go all in, is the thing. So these guys who go all in on the river usually probably don't have shit. Most of the time you go all in, you probably don't have shit. The only time is if you have aces and 2 clubs hit, and then you get the big bet, you're saying, I got a big hand, and I want you to fold your flush draw or your straight draw. That's the only time that you make the big bet is to protect. But to make the big bet, the bluff, you're praying that I don't have anything. And I'm not going to be in with the 2-7 without anything. Why would I even play the hand? Oh, I'll try to bluff him. Well, then I got to hope he doesn't have a hand and that he doesn't, see that. But, the bluff only works against weak players, against weak hands. So Tom DeWan bets 100 grand, probably doesn't have anything. So you read that and say, well, if he had a big hand, he wouldn't put in 100 grand. But I shouldn't be in the hand if I don't have a big hand. So if I'm in against Tom DeWan, I'm going to have a big hand, and then it's just I have kings, he's got aces. Okay, but I got to be able to afford to play. See, that's the problem. Like we'd have to play like a $300 limit, then I could beat Tom DeWan. But if he shows up with $1 million and I got 20 grand, I can't win because I can't afford to lose the 20 grand to the million. But if we're both playing $300, I'd beat him easily. He'd make his bluff. I'd call him. I'd slow play him, and he'd make his bet. And I don't have anything. I'd be folding. So that's what you do. Anyway, so that's poker. The bluffer's looking for you. He's not really trying to bluff. He's reading if you have a hand or not. And if you just check and he doesn't have a hand, he's not. He's going to bet because you look weak. So if you want to catch a bluffer, look weak. Just go, oh my God, What am I going to do? Start fumbling your chips around, and then he'll think you're weak. That's how you beat most of these guys is you act. You think you're strong or you think you're weak. So anyway, that's what we have. So gold and silver, we just got to be patient with. It's just this war. It's just the oil. So they've moved from gold and silver into oil or gas. Um, so they're just going along for the ride. That'll end soon because they can't keep going up. Again, eventually there'll be more supply of oil, and it doesn't benefit anybody to have high oil. They can't, because then all the food goes up and everybody starves, and there's no benefit because they're greedy. They all want to make money. You make a lot more money by selling items that people can afford. So, if this avocado, if you put it at $10, nobody's going to buy it. You don't make any money. So you got to put it at a price you can make money at it. Again, this is business. So if they make the gas prices too high, nobody buys gas, or you buy it and then nobody drives anywhere, which will again hurt the economy. Taking an airline is going to be very expensive. You're going to kill that industry. So things that rely on gas are going to get really hurt, and it doesn't benefit anybody to have a bad economy. So keep that in mind. So I don't think gas will keep going up too much longer. I think it'll stabilize, and then we'll go back to gold and silver, because gold and silver can't be printed. It's extremely limited. You can't print it anywhere, so the value really can't go down. So when you see this paper value go down, there's nothing you can do. All right. Let's see where it's at. And it's making a move up. Gold just took a night. Well, 45.84, and silver's loading. Come on, silver. So, okay, it's down, but gold can quickly jump back up to 4,800. I mean, as bad as it's been, it's only down $375 the last couple of weeks. And we got silver at 69.82, 69.86 again. I wouldn't worry about it. We see it's a $90 item. Well, let's check the Dow. And it is down. It's down $262 to 45.7. The Dow's crashing slowly, but it will crash. And how comfortable when it hits 40,000. When it goes into the 30s, then you're going to wish you had gold and silver. So anyway, if you are in these traders or these option bullshit, you don't know what you're doing, and you're playing a game, you can't win. You cannot win those games because you're in. Let's play a game. You're in this and I'm in this. Who wins? I win every time because mine has value and yours doesn't. So that's the bottom line. So if you're fucking around in stocks or these trades or these options, whatever you're playing, you're still in this and it's worthless. That's why you play in this. This is problem solved. This is where you're in, because you can't lose on this. Even though COMEX is short, the dollar's worthless. The dollar's done. It's inflated to zero. So you have no hope in a dollar. So even if you make $1,000 here or there, you didn't make any money. It's not worth anything. So this is the point that people keep missing. Oh, inflation's going to spike. No, inflation is already there. It's not prices. It's the money, and the money is already printed. It's already worthless. You can't have any more inflation than you have because the dollar's is worth nothing. So people keep thinking, "Oh, inflation is going to spike." No. There's gas inflation. No, there's no such thing as gas inflation. What the fuck are you talking about? Prices going up are not inflation. They're the market. A supply shortage in oil and the price of gas goes up is not inflation. That's the market. There's a supply shortage. Gold going up because of demand is not inflation. It's gold going up. The dollar being printed, losing value is the inflation. All right. So I will leave you with that. Try to stay strong with gold and silver. Just really don't worry about it. Your alternative is to be in the dollars, and you're fucked in the dollars. You're fucked in Bitcoin. You're fucked in the market. So you're fucked anywhere else but gold and silver. So just remember that. This will rotate. Stocks will start crashing. It has to, because nobody, if you got to sell your tomatoes at $10 a pound, nobody's going to buy them. And that's what's going to happen. All these businesses, they're all fucked. All the banks will go under because people won't be able to pay back their loans. And it's just going to be a nightmare. So maybe go buy a bunch of like snack foods, popcorn, or, I hate to say buy cereal, Raisin Bran or something that will stay fresh. The prices will go up at the market, but there's not a lot I can do. There's not a lot I can buy because I eat fresh fruit and veggies. I can't buy 1,000 apples, and I can't buy 5 cauliflowers and broccolis because of the price. I just can't do it. The only thing I eat that I got my spices, I get extra. My eggs, I got to buy them fresh, pretty much. It's not something you leave, or milk, or half and half, you leave in the fridge for a long time. So most of my stuff I got to buy. It's the meat that I can freeze. And I guess popcorn, the big Orville Redenbacher, nuts, maybe you buy some nuts. That you can probably store. We will see, but they can't. If they raise the prices, nobody will be able to buy them. Then they go out of business. So they got to keep their prices where they can sell them. So I don't think the prices will get that out of hand. There'll have to be something done. But yeah, I know the oil's that. But again, in the U.S., according to Trump, we have all this oil. We should be fine. All right, my friends, my family, have a good Friday. Today's the 20th, not the 13th, like last week. Although it was a good day. I got the apartment. And that's it. So have a good day. It's been warm here. It was cold yesterday morning, and then I went out at lunch to go to whatchamacallit, and it was very very warm out. It's in the 50s, so I didn't need my coat to go into the gym. Otherwise, I'm waiting for Alyssa. She did text me she's coming, or I need to pick her up soon. So that's good. It's 50-50 with her, but that's okay. Heard from Dee today. Daria's saying they're blocking the VPN in Russia with the war. She says, if I need something, I'll email you. So I don't know if she's able to use Telegram or not, but they are blocking the VPN. So keep that in mind. So it's not like if she doesn't answer me, she's ignoring me or anything. She always gives me, I love you and all that. So I believe everything's fine with her. It's this war where they're blocking VPNs. She just can't text me. Now people go, well, she hasn't met you. There's been a war for 4 years, for Christ's sake. It's amazing how people get kind of stupid and don't realize there's a fucking war going on in Russia and the Ukraine. It's like if you have family in Israel or Iran or Lebanon. I have people at the swim who are from Lebanon, and they're in a war. Like, understand that. All right, so we'll watch college basketball again. I gave you my pros. Baseball should start in a couple of weeks, and I think NBA. I'm getting close to problem solving the games. I'm starting to, as you see, at first I couldn't even try to pick an over-under. Now I'm getting pretty good at the over-unders. I can see who has the weak defense, who has the strong defense. Most of them have weak defenses. It's the players sitting out of the injured guys. And that's about it. Enjoy your weekend. If you need me, www.teaserking.com. Get on the homepage and you'll get me. And I do answer emails, as I believe Paul knows. And that happens. So yeah, we'll look into basketball the final month here. We should be able to handicap the playoffs much better, and then we'll see what happens today in college. I should be able to start making some plays this weekend or for sure next weekend. But I don't like, I'm blind to it, so I don't like, oh, let's pick the winner of the tournament. And you got to realize one last thing. You have to realize this is not a playoff. This is a tournament. The best team very rarely wins. It's all the luck of the draw, who you play, what region you're in. It's bullshit to determine the winner. It is a tournament, not a playoff. Let's keep that in mind. The NFL and everything else, it's a playoff. You play this team, and then you play the next team, and then you play the next team, and it's very well sorted. Then you have a Super Bowl or these college playoffs, and that's not what this is. This is, I'm going to play Drake, and then, I got Alabama coming up, and it's not a playoff. So the team that wins the tournament should not be the number one team. It should just be that you won the tournament. Who gives a fuck? That's why I have a hard time getting in. But anyway, yes, Mean Joe Green dying is unfortunate. Those Steelers were great, and he was the leader, so he was the best player. All right, I will talk to you later. Have a nice week. I will talk to you tomorrow. Good luck. Don't get too frustrated with gold and silver. Again, it's the only thing to be in. The ship is sinking. So all that's happened is they're moving from the second deck to the third deck. We're going to move out of the gold and silver. And we're going to move into the oil future deck. But the boat's still sinking to the bottom of the Atlantic. And you get into the lifeboat, and that lifeboat hasn't changed gold and silver. So I know it's kind of frustrating, but don't just be patient. It's all you can do. Hell, it used to be 2,000 an ounce. Now we were in the 5,000. So, it's come up quite a ways. And then we got this idiot Trump in charge. So that's a real big problem. All right. Have a good day. I will talk to you later. Enjoy. Bye-bye.